This week we are checking out Upward Bound by Woody Brown. I'm Sarah Lyles.
And I'm Jamie Livingston, and we are so approachable. And we warned you in our last episode that we were switching things up. So we are doing this from a distance right now. How does it feel?
Yep. Weird. How does it feel for you?
It does feel really weird. I'm still actually in our recording studio, and you're not right across from me. So it's a little lonely in here.
Well, it's weird for me to be home and do this and make sure everybody's like silenced. So changes things, a lot of things.
Yeah, but we can do it like after bedtime. And I don't
Yes.
know, this might actually help us be able to align our schedules a little more.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Well, we said we are doing Upward Bound, and this is your pick, Sarah. So why are we doing this one?
So I saw this on Read with Jenna, and I've liked a couple of her books. And so I was reading through it and I thought, this is absolutely like nothing we've ever done. And so I wanted to check it out.
Okay. This is a new book as well. It was March 2026. So
Yep.
brand spanking new. Tell us a little bit about what it's about.
All right, from the back of the book. Upward Bound is not a place anyone dreams of spending their days. The dreary adult daycare center for a Los Angeles disabled community is for many of its clients and staff a place of last resort.
This includes Carlos, a young aide who lost his mother as a boy and now works there alongside his beloved sister, Mariana. Jorge, the gentle, non speaking giant whom Carlos seeks to befriend and prevent from escaping. Tom, a beautiful young man with cerebral palsy who pines for Anne, the summer lifeguard at the center's pool, who feels out of her depth. Then there's Dave, Upward Bound's director, who came to LA to pursue an acting career, but now channels his passion into staging an overly ambitious holiday show starring the center's irrepressible clients.
Framing these intertwined narratives and connecting them in surprising, shattering ways, it is the riveting and sometimes ironic testimony of Walter, a recent community college graduate who, after a family tragedy, must return to the company of his disabled peers.
In Upward Bound, Woody Brown has created an indelible, authentic, and profoundly moving group portrait of autism and other disabilities, all illuminated by his empathy, sly sense of humor, and enormous gifts as a novelist. With remarkable sophistication, insight, and creativity, Brown depicts a community too often invisible in literature and society. Filled with characters you won't soon forget, Upward Bound will inspire and touch you, teaching you as much about yourself as the tender, miraculous world behind the center's doors.
I think what drew me to that is just because this is an area I am not familiar with. I mean, it's a big, big catch in like a small book because this is not a very long book either,
Right. It's a short one.
right?
Should be a
Yeah.
really quick audio book to listen to. I mean, even, uh, do we know how many pages it is? I feel like I can actually look this up right now. Right, 185, so just under 200 pages. So nice and thin. You can get this one done super fast. But you're right. It is
Yeah.
a community that a lot of us don't have direct, what is the word I'm looking for? Direct involvement with on a daily basis.
Right.
So I think
Right.
this will be interesting to kind of get the front seat view of this and what it's like to live with these conditions.
hmm I mean, obviously, I mean, even a bit about the author. This book was NBC's Today Show marked Autism Acceptance Month by announcing their Read with Jenna book club. I mean, it was the selection for April. So that says a lot to me in itself.
Right. April, we said, is Autism Acceptance Month. And so, what do we need to know about the author, Sarah?
All right, so Woody Brown, a 28-year-old man with severe autism himself. I mean,
Okay.
he became the first non-speaking autistic graduate of UCLA.
That is big in 2022. First graduate, non-speaking. So, the author of this book has autism, severe autism, to the point that he's nonverbal. So this is kind of crazy. It says he graduated in the English department's top writing honors, and he completed his MFA in creative writing at Columbia University in 2024, and he lives in LA and is currently working on a second novel.
See, that's so hard for me. I mean, I think that's what intrigued me too, is him to have autism and he's nonverbal.
Hmm.
How did he write this book? And that is like a big thought to me of like, where did that come from? And I think actually you pulled in a review that actually spoke really deeply on that.
Yeah. So normally we get a positive and a negative review. And I want to jump into my one-star review because as I was looking into this book, I found that there's a lot of controversy behind this. So I want to read you my one-star review from Bruce, just as we to kind of give us a little perspective here. So Bruce says, as a father of a nonverbal autistic child, I find this book extremely upsetting. It's the product of facilitated communication. This book is a fraud. It was not written by Woody Brown. It was written by his mother. Woody does not type letters like you or I do. He uses a letterboard that his mother holds for him in midair, and then his mother translates what she thinks Woody is typing. It's called spelling to communicate, and it is widely discredited because no one has ever been able to prove that the child and not the adult is picking the letters. The tests that have been done tend to prove it's the adult, the mother in this case, who is picking the letters subconsciously. I think the only reason this kind of thing gets overlooked is that nobody wants to imagine the kind of deluded monsters who would use a disabled child as their own puppet like this. We would much rather imagine a world where an autistic person is overcoming their disability and proving all the naysayers wrong. It's much more convenient to talk about Woody's big heart than to realize his mother wrote this book and earned his degrees for him. We owe it to these kids to meet them where they are and to understand them, not to invent false narratives around their abilities to make us tear up and feel better. I invite anyone who thinks this isn't fraudulent to watch a video of Woody picking letters and explain to us why he's often typing a few letters and his mother is reading off multiple words or larger words with many more letters. Explain why Woody is often not looking at his letterboard while he types. Explain why the letters Woody is pointing to don't match up with the letters the mother is reading off. The simple and true explanation is that this is a total fraud.
That's
Oof.
so like that's a lot and that's super sad. I mean, I would hope that that's not true, but obviously, again, an area that I'm not familiar with and I mean, I can't speak to it on any level because I don't know.
Right. And I think that's where I just want to present both sides to this, regardless if it was Woody or if it was Woody's mom, they both have first person experience and a lot of knowledge about autism. And so I think that, again, regardless of who actually authored this book, we're going to learn something. And I think it will be a valuable lesson.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even if we're looking at the overall ratings, this is a new book. There's
Hmm.
only 8,000 total ratings. It gets a 4.05. And so, I mean, 40% are 4 stars.
Yep.
So a good number of people really did enjoy this book.
Yeah. I mean, right. It is very, very new. And I think that we may learn a little more. There might be more people coming out of the woodwork to talk about this. What did he call it? Oh, facilitated communication and whether or not that is something that we can actually go off of. And I mean, I watched a couple interviews with Woody and his mom. They were on the Today Show, clearly. Um, and it's interesting. I mean, it is a heartwarming story, and you see them together and think, wow, this kid suffered through so much in his childhood and was able to conquer all of these things. And, but like Bruce says, like, are we just doing it to give somebody some tears and a good feeling? I don't know. What kind of
I
good
don't
review did
know.
you find?
Let's start with a good one. I think we
Okay.
could use a good one. So I went with Debbie, gave it 4 stars. She said, I enjoyed this book. It is a rare, honest look at what it is like to be a young person with disabilities in an adult daycare center. Readers also get a glimpse into what days at the center are like for the administrator and staff, filled with stories from the viewpoint of clients with autism, cerebral palsy, and or Down syndrome. This is a tender-hearted book that is written by a debut author who knows. I am grateful for this author for writing this unique and sensitive story.
Yeah. Okay. Totally accepting of this. On the train. We are vibing with this book.
Yeah.
I have a 5-star review as well. You said Debbie was 4 stars. Okay, I have a 5-star review. So I'm going the full pendulum here. I had a 1 star and a 5. This one is from Summer, and she says, stories like Upward Bound are near and dear to my heart. My oldest son is on the autism spectrum, and even though he is higher functioning, the struggles he has faced and the obstacles he's had to overcome are no less devastating. My son also attends a center for teens with disabilities a couple hours a week. Yes, the name of our center is equally as silly as Upward Bound. So, after reading the synopsis of Upward Bound, my heart smiled to finally see some more disability rep in literature. Upward Bound is a magnetic, searing, heartfelt, and remarkable novel. Upward Bound takes readers inside the lives of those who are constantly misconstrued, misrepresented, minimized, and unseen, while inviting readers to check our assumptions and attitudes toward the disabled. At times, I found myself laughing and others tearing up. Woody Brown's writing is beautiful, and the story is unforgettable.
Oh, that's great. See, that makes me really excited. All right, so
Right.
I didn't go all the way down to a two-star. So Morgan gave a two-star. She said, I'll start by saying that I've never read a book like this, and I think it's incredibly important to learn more about the disabled community, what their unique challenges are and needs are. So in that aspect, I learned a lot with this book. I didn't find it to grab my attention. I like to read more books with similar perspectives and details, but this book specific fell flat. That review reminds me of how I felt about Anxious Generation. So if you didn't go back and listen to Anxious Generation, I didn't necessarily love that book, but
Hmm.
I took a lot away from that book. So
Well,
I
and
feel like Morgan, I can resonate and understand.
yeah, I think that's kind of what I said is like whether or not it was him or his mom, like I think there is a lesson, an overall good amount of information to take away from this book.
Okay, so a little fun thing. We always at the end like to say a little fun fact about ourselves. That's a little get to know you question. So my question to you today is, did you have any mentors in your life? And if so, is there any specific thing that truly impacted you that still resonates with you today?
Hmm, that's a good question. I can't think of like a specific person or something that was just like has always stuck with me. I think what has stuck with me is the importance of seeking out a mentor. I've traveled quite a bit or moved with my jobs. Clearly, I am moving with my job right now. But in every city that I have moved to, I've tried to get plugged in right away. And I have always looked for a mentor. So it's usually getting plugged in at my church and finding somebody there, an older woman who can kind of take me under her wing. And I think that's really important. And you have to be brave enough to request that. Like somebody's not just going to come up to you and be like, "Hey, do you need somebody in your life?" Like you have to actually go and say like, "Hey, I want you to be this person for me. Are you okay with that?" And so I've had several of those people throughout my life that I can look back on and just think, "Wow, it was really cool that I did that." And now I want to be that person for somebody else. What about you?
My parents were super busy. I was the youngest of four girls. And so we grew up in the church, and I had a lot of older ladies in my life. And I thought it was really cool that a lot of them stepped in and really just took me under their wing. They didn't have kids themselves, but they would take me out and do fun things. They really taught me things like cooking or cleaning or, just various things. I mean, I specifically remember two women, Peggy and Cantel. They were women that were like in our church that just spent so much time with me. And that time, I don't think they realize like how much still today, and hopefully they're listening. If not, you're going to listen because I'm going to send
Mhm.
this episode to you, and how much of an impact they had in my life that still today I hope that my daughters have someone like that in their lives that pour into them like they did and they poured into me.
Yeah. Have you I'm, I can speak for you on this topic because you are a mentor for so many young ladies as a teacher. And I've seen it, I've witnessed it in action, and like the amount of people that you are like speaking life to on a daily basis. So, like, you are that person for people, and that's really cool to watch.
Well, thank you. It's exhausting, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely. Okay. Question. This may be, I mean, it relates to the book. Do you have ties to autism, like people in your family or close friends? Because I don't really. Like, that's not something that I have truly experienced. I've watched it in a couple TV shows, but that's kind of my only true experience with that, kind of hearing just sentiments from other people.
I don't. My sister actually was a special ed teacher in the public school system for a while. And so I remember hearing, and I love my sister's heart. It's amazing to watch her even like she gets excited. There's a show on TV, I can't think of it is, but it's like love, like it's like people with autism or disabilities that are like finding love.
Love
And
on
I
the
think it's like
spectrum.
really cool. There you go, that show. And so she's like, that's such a fun thing because they're so genuine and caring. And what you see is they have so much to give. And unfortunately, the world sometimes shuts them down, from what I've seen. Again, this is just an outsider who doesn't have firsthand, inside to where that's why I'm like, I just want to know more. I just want to feel and understand. And especially since this is written by, even if it's written by his mom, like you said, firsthand.
Yeah. I'm really curious. I am excited for this one just because it is so different and will take us into a world that we really don't know. It's not fantasy. This is actual reality. And so, but it's somewhere that we don't actually understand.
Right. Right.
All right.
Yep.
Well,
I'm excited.
cool.
So,
Let's keep reading.
and keep ranting.
And remember, you are so approachable. Okay, the episode is over. Get reading.
But before you go, like, review, and subscribe.
Turn on notifications to get the alert when the full episode drops.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see what we're reading next and join the conversation.
We're so excited to have you on board.